Hello and welcome to the next in our series, our private cellar series, A Glass with Our Growers. I am absolutely delighted to have the boys from Rijks on today. Tiger, could you possibly introduce yourselves and explain where you are?
Yeah, so we're standing here in Block 39. We're situated in Tilbach, which is about an hour and a half north of Cape Town. It's a small valley, and we're surrounded by really beautiful mountains known as the Witzenberg. In the distance, you can actually see the Winterhoek. But yeah, all the leaves are busy falling off the vineyard now, and we're busy preparing the soils, and we've put some mulch on the bunkies as well.
This is fantastic. Well, I think you're going to have to explain a little bit about the vineyard later on, because this is our first. You're the first who we've ever had who has been in the vineyard, so it's incredibly exciting. And I can confirm that is not just a screen background. The boys really are there, which is brilliant. So thank you for that. Well, would you be kind enough? I think that the plan today is we've got Tiger's chosen a wine which we're going to taste, which he thinks represents Rijks. We're going to keep it the same short format, and we will talk a little bit about the winery, how long both of you have been there, and then we're going to taste the wine. We're lucky enough to have Adriaan, the winemaker, on with us, which is a real pleasure and privilege. So we can ask some questions about making the wine too. And then we'll wrap it up, hopefully, without going over time. And that's going to be the challenge.
Sounds good.
So would you be really kind and explain a bit about the history?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I've been here since the beginning. I was born on the farm. My father, Neville Dorrington, bought the farm in 1996. He planted the first vineyards in 1997, and then we released our first vintage in 2000. But Tilbach used to be very well known for easygoing whites back in the 70s, 80s. But yeah, my father's always loved good food and good wine. And when he bought the farm, he had the professor from Stellenbosch University come out and do soil tests. And he said that there's no way that you can plant vineyards here. It's better to have some wheat and some sheep. And my father's the type of guy that if you tell him that he can't do something, then he wants to do it even more. So yeah, then in 2000, when we released our first vintage, we had 12 different grape varieties. But yeah, then in 2010, we decided to only focus on Chenin and Pinotage. And the main reason is they're both earlier varieties. So we start harvesting anything from middle January and normally finish middle Feb. And yeah, then also we generally have a heat wave in the beginning of March. And obviously with the earlier varieties, all the grapes are in the cellar by then, which also makes for great consistency. And then also the name Rijks, Rijk Tilbach was the 9th governor of the Cape, and the valley where we're situated in today was named after him. And when my father bought the farm's name was Middelpos, and the reason is it's exactly in the middle of the valley, and all the farmers used to come fetch their post on the farm every couple of months. So yeah, that's where Middelpos come from.
Oh, I love it.
But no, then in honor of Rijk Tilbach, my father renamed the farm Rijks. So that's how we got there. And then Private Cellar, the wine we're tasting today, we were the first private cellar in South Africa, and today there's over 40 private cellars. And when we decided to focus on Chenin and Pinotage, we decided to have 3 different ranges. So we've got Touch, which is a more accessible, more fruit-driven style, premium wine by the glass offering, and then Private Cellar, which is more complex and more structured. And then we've also got Reserve, which is our barrel selection of our 10 finest barrels.
Okay, fantastic. So this is awesome to be tasting Private Cellar. And I remember, because I was lucky enough to come and visit you guys, but I think it was about 10 years ago. So a really, really long time. And I remember I tasted Private Cellar then. And I just thought that you were working with Private Cellar in the UK then. And it wasn't until I spoke to Laura and she just said, no, it was this wonderful, happy coincidence that the wine is literally named for us. So
yeah. I was a match made in heaven.
Exactly. Well, I know we're very happy anyway. So the vineyard in the background, I can't not ask a few questions. So it looks pretty flat. What's the soil like?
should we maybe take it a little bit closer?
Yeah, why not?
Yes, please.
So
Great.
this is one of the blocks of pinotage that we use for the private cellar pinotage. And Rijks is situated on vertical shell soil. So we've got a very small topsoil layer and then just rock.
Oh,
And
wow.
this makes it quite unique because it curbs the vigor a bit. So with less vigor, you get smaller bunches, more concentration in the berries as well. So you'll see we are busy putting mulch down on the bunkie. So this keeps the soil temperature lower in the summer, keeps the water in the winter months, and also helps with the weed control. And then if you can also see in the work row, we just plowed it and we are busy preparing the beds for our crops for winter.
So what crops will you put in during the winter and why?
So last year we planted a mix with about five different seeds, but this year we're just focusing on korog, known as triticale, and basically what we want to do is create a carpet. So it will grow now, and then just before bud burst, we'll come in and we'll roll it flat, and yeah, it's basically to put a blanket between the sun and the soil, and that the soil retains all the moisture, because if the soil heats up too much, all the microorganisms die.
Okay, so it's to keep lots of life in the soil and make sure that it's because it's you get pretty tough weather, don't you? It's very hot, I think, in the summer, from my understanding.
And then very cold in winter.
Yeah. So what kind of temperature will it get down to in the winter?
We're going to single digits. Some mornings it can be about -2, -3. And actually the mountain behind us, the Winterhoek, every winter about half of the mountain is covered in snow. And as that melts, we've got a river that runs through the farm called the Kliprivier, and we pump from that. And then we've got another water source about 5 kilometers away called the Kleinbergrivier, where we also pump from to fill up our dams.
Okay, fantastic. And the water supply is quite good at the moment, from my understanding.
Yes. So from 2015 to 2017, obviously we had a big drought in the Cape, and from 2018 the rain slowly got back to where it was before. And yeah, in the last year we've had 550 mil of rain, but up in the mountains they have about 1,500 mil of rain, so almost 3 times the amount of rain up in the winter compared to us on the farm.
Oh wow, yeah, absolutely. So presumably that's all running off though, and that impacts you as well though.
Yes, but also with the El Nino effect coming back into effect this year,
Really?
we have heard that we will have less winter rains in the next couple of years again.
Okay. And how was the harvest just gone?
Very good. Yeah, we started mid-Jan, like Tiger said, finished end of Feb, so just before the heat waves and the rain came. Yeah, beautiful. So normally we start with the pinotage, and then somewhere in the middle, then the Chenin catches up as well. So then the cellar team is quite under a lot of pressure. But yeah, beautiful so far.
Yeah, I think that because they're both early ripening, I mean, it's great because you're finished nice and early and you get to enjoy a bit of the late summer, but those weeks must be hectic.
Our longest shift this year was about 36 hours without sleep.
Wow, my goodness me. Well, you look very fresh now, so thank you. And we better taste this lovely wine that has resulted in your long shifts. So
Yeah,
I've got today, I'm not sure what vintage you have. I have the Private Cellar 2017. Oh, my camera's blurry. Sorry, 2017 Pinotage. What do you guys have? Is it the same vintage or different?
Same vintage. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, so just quick about how we produce this wine. So at Rijks, we pick our fruit in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
So our farmer and the team starts at about 10:30.
Yeah.
And then we decide.
And you're picking at night to keep as much freshness in the grapes?
Yeah, freshness. So it's very good for the grapes, but also just as good for the people as well. So with Torbach getting really hot in the summer months, we don't want our workers to start picking when it's 35 degrees outside. Yeah, so it's also better for them.
Yeah.
And it also ensures that I get nice and clean and cold fruits at the cellar as well. So I receive my first grapes around about 12 at night, and then we start processing. And we aim to be done picking around about 6.
Wow. Okay. Gosh. So you're a nocturnal animal when it comes to the harvest time then.
Yeah, harvest time.
Something like that.
And how close is the winery to the vineyards? Do you need to refrigerate the fruit on the way, or is it pretty close?
No, very close. Yeah, so from the block to the cellar is about 2 minute drive. Yeah,
Oh wow, fantastic. Okay, brilliant.
to refrigerate, and then we do a quick sorting of the fruit, and then crush and destem into small open top fermenters for the private cellar. We do a quick 2 to 3 day cold soak just to extract a little bit of color and flavor, and then the fermentation starts. And Pinotage ferments really quick, so it's about from after the cold soak till pressing is about 3 to 5 days, depending on the fermentation. 2 to 3 pump overs or punch downs daily, just to ensure that we extract enough color and tannin and body.
Yeah.
The Pinotage then finishes fermentation in tank. We take it straight to barrel. Malolactic fermentation happens in 300-liter French oak barrels. After that, we do another racking and then put it back into barrel to our
Is it
final
all
blend.
new barrels or some which are a bit older?
So some new, but we go all the way up to fifth full. Yeah,
Oh wow,
private.
okay. Okay, so a mix.
Yeah, so look, I'm not trying to sell a French oak forest. I'm trying to sell fruit from Rijks, you know. So we must just complement the wine, not take anything away. And
I
then
think it's
then
lovely.
yeah,
Sorry.
22 months in barrel, and then after that, Tiger and myself will sit down and taste through all the barrels, and then do a selection.
Did you say 22 months?
22 months, yeah, that's
It's
correct.
incredible because it's a long time in oak, but for me, it's the fruit is so unbelievably fresh and it's so concentrated, isn't it? I
Yeah,
think.
beautiful. And I think it's got a very nice balance between red and darker fruit as well. You know, so you don't just want red fruit spectrum. You don't just want dark fruit spectrum. You know, so I think the Pinotage that we produce is very elegant, very fruit driven, but still with enough structure and body. Yeah, to
Mm.
produce a beautiful full right Pinotage.
The other interesting thing for me is because there is kind of when we talk about Pinotage, you kind of expect a kind of there is the expectation of a kind of a smokiness, and there's a tiny little bit of smoke, but for me it's really all about the fresh fruit, this wine. It's not the stereotypical Pinotage of what we used to expect in the UK, I think.
Yeah. So I think in previous years, Pinotage wasn't treated right, and I think picked too ripe and over oaked. Um, but in our case, I think picking is obviously very crucial to
Yeah.
still capture that beautiful fruit, and then in the cellar just treat it with respect as well. You know, you don't want to take anything away after the entire growing season. You know, and the farm
Yeah.
put in a lot of effort, the farm manager. So then it's super crucial in the cellar just to treat it with some respect.
So when you're making that really important decision about when you harvest the grapes, is that are you in the vineyard tasting the grapes, or how?
Every single
Yeah.
day, yeah. Every single day we're in the vineyards, and we've got about 23 hectares planted on the vine, so it's just small
Okay.
enough so that I can get into every block every day, check the sugar. But it's
Yeah.
not just about sugar; it's about the taste and the tannins and the seeds. You know, you want the best color, the best tannin structure, with high enough sugar levels as well.
Mm. I think the tannins for me in this wine are very interesting as well because they're so silky, aren't they?
Yeah,
Really,
loads
really
of tannin,
lovely.
but very soft tannin. Yeah.
Mm. Is that classic of Pinotage, or is that are you quite gentle with the extraction?
We are quite gentle with our extraction, yeah. So like I said, between 2 and 3 pump overs or punch downs a day, and look, that will depend on the block or where it is in its fermentation stage, and
Mhm.
then we make a call. So I don't want to over extract as well, you
Yeah.
know. So it's a very very delicate balance. And I know some other farms do a lot more extraction, but I think for the style of Pinotage that we produce, I think that's perfect.
Well, for me, I think it's absolutely delicious. And yeah, it's such a joy to taste it with you guys while you're in the vineyard. It feels like an honor actually. And I know that we're all gonna enjoy watching this video back, and lots of our customers are huge fans of your wine, so I'm sure this will be well watched. Question: if you guys were drinking this, or when you drink this at home, what would you like to eat with it? What would be your ideal meal to have with this wine?
I don't know. For me, when I open this wine, the fire is normally going, and in about half an hour, I put my meat on the braai. But yeah, for me personally, with a sirloin steak, with a bit of fat on the side, that's perfect.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. And how about you?
Yeah, like I said, meat obviously pairs very well, but it can also support some lighter meals as well. So you can do duck or game with a fresh salad. So Pinotage is very versatile, and we prefer also to chill it slightly, not not cold where white wine is, but just to chill it slightly, and then you can pair it with some lighter meals as well as starters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm definitely going to be having a barbecue tonight if the sun shines. It's not very nice today, but if it comes out, we'll be firing up the barbecue here as well. So I have to ask one more question. At the risk of stating the obvious, you're both very young, which is wonderful. So fresh-faced, and well, you look fresh-faced, even though that you have had the long shifts. What's it like taking over such a responsibility at a young age?
I think I was born on the farm, and since I was 4 or 5 years old, I was helping with the harvests. I joined the company in 2016, and I spent a couple of years in the vineyards. Then I was in the cellar. Then I took over local sales. Then I took over exports, and I took over about 2.5, 3 years ago from my father. So I've really been through every single different part of the business, and my dad's 70 now, and I still chat to him at least once a day or once a week, and yeah, I've still obviously got him who I can ask advice for.
Yeah. He
But
must
yeah,
be so proud of you, though. It must just be such a joy to see you running the business for him. I'm certain.
yeah. But I think what's very unique about our team, we're all quite young, but we've all got the same vision. And I believe if you work hard and you really you've got your goal and you really want to get there, you can do it.
100%.
But once I was saying to one of my friends, Irvin, and he said that antiques, just because something's old doesn't mean it's an antique. So you can have an old car or whatever, but if it's not something special, then it's not worth that much.
So I think it's completely right. Well, you guys are doing a wonderful, wonderful job, and like I said before, it's a great honor to have you here. And thank you very much for live streaming from the vineyard. It's so special. I'm sure our customers will massively enjoy that. And yeah, thank you once again from everyone at Private Cellar for jumping on. Okay, cheers everyone.
This last one. We've also got a small hotel on the farm. So if any of you guys customers, if they ever come to South Africa, then must please let us know. They can come and visit.
Tiger, be careful what you wish for. You're going to be inundated with Private Cellar customers.
That's all good. And yeah, if they can't make it all the way to South Africa, myself and my girlfriend Cass, we're actually coming to London next week, and hopefully we'll meet some of your customers and have some good wine.
Definitely. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much, guys. Cheers.